Hi everyone, welcome back to The Basics. Today I'm sharing 8 everyday micro habits that can improve your life. These habits are simple and practical and you can start using them today. You may not love every one of these habits or find them useful for you, but hopefully you can at least adopt one of them and find value in them. So let's get into it. Have you ever noticed clutter building up even when you're tidying regularly? We recently moved from a 1-bedroom, 575 square feet apartment to a 3-bedroom townhome, and I noticed this especially when we moved. We gained so much space in this move compared to what we had before, and stuff seemed to build up on every floor when it needed to go to a different room or a different floor. After noticing this, I started to try to find a few things in the room I was leaving that belonged somewhere else. The rule I created is that when I leave a room or a floor, I would look for at least one item that doesn't belong there and move it to where it does belong. This small habit means you can gradually keep your home organized without big, exhausting cleanups. If you're heading upstairs with a backpack, you can bring up dishes or toys at the same time. I was surprised by how this little adjustment has kept our space neat with just a little extra effort. The next habit is the Pomodoro technique. If you haven't heard of this, it's a time management method where you work for 25 minutes fully focused on 1 to 2 tasks, and then you take a 5-minute break. After 4 cycles of that, you'll take a longer break, usually 15 minutes. I've found that this technique helps me avoid burnout throughout my day and boost concentration while I'm engaged in these tasks. At my job, it can be difficult to take breaks if we are reaching a hard deadline. Most of my job revolves around the bond market being open, so the last 2 hours of that time can be a little bit stressful. When I do not take breaks, I find that my concentration tanks after the market closes, and I still have 1 or 2 hours of work after completing everything with the market being open. But when I stick to the Pomodoro technique, I'm better able to maintain my focus throughout the day and lengthen that into those last 2 hours that I usually find pretty difficult to continue to focus. I've also used the Pomodoro technique to help me focus after I tried to balance working from home and taking care of our new baby. He's in daycare now, so I can use this technique a little bit more, and it's helped me regain a lot of the focus that I lost during that time. And here's a bonus habit you can use with the Pomodoro technique. As you work, you'll often think of new tasks or ideas that you want to work on. And instead of interrupting your workflow, try to quickly jot them down on a notepad and return to them after your main focus session. That way you can stay productive without losing those important thoughts or dwelling on them. The third habit is prioritizing with small to-do lists. I love to-do lists, but they can get overwhelming, especially when I overestimate what I can get done for the day. So every morning, try to write down everything you'd like to accomplish for the day. Then cut that list by half or even 2/3 so that you're picking 1 to 3 key priorities for your day. By doing this, you can become more focused and realistic and make it easier to get things done and feel accomplished for your day. Managing expectations about what you will get done means less pressure and more room for progress. The next habit is hydration. Try to keep a large water bottle within reach on your desk, in the kitchen, the bedroom, and wherever else you spend your time. Having water nearby can help you remind yourself to drink more, and it reduces that friction between you and trying to stay hydrated and just keeping that water right next to you. Some other related habits are to try to swish water after eating or drinking something like coffee, soda, wine. That can help get rid of all that food or the drink that you had, and it'll help keep your enamel stronger. Another dental habit is to avoid chewing ice. If I have water with ice in it, just in a cup, it's really easy for me to just chew on the ice, but that is also bad for your enamel. So making it a habit of maybe choosing a water bottle that has a straw or just putting a little bit of ice in your water can help with that habit. And using Pomodoro techniques can also help remind you to drink water when you have those breaks and you're kind of looking for something to do. If you have the water right next to you, that'll help you have that during your breaks. The next habit is doing micro workouts throughout your day. These are very small active exercises that you can reasonably add throughout your day. For me, I have grip strength gear at my desk at home and in the office. So if I'm reading something or I'm just like sitting there, I'll grab one of these tools and just start using it to train my hands. At home, I also have booty bands at my desk, so during any breaks that I take, I'll just take a few minutes to put those on, get in a quick little workout, and then go back to my desk. Other ideas you can try are chair leg raises and seated calf raises. I remember a podcast by Andrew Huberman where he recommended seated calf raises for improving glucose and lipid metabolism. So that exercise can be very beneficial for the time and effort they require. If you're in an environment where you feel like you can do so, you can also incorporate push-ups, squats, bridges, and planks into your everyday life. These short bursts of movement add up over the week and keep your body active, though they're not a replacement for a solid exercise routine. The next habit is scheduling preventative healthcare checkups. Most people in the US qualify for a free annual wellness visit. It's preventative and it may help you catch health problems early. This isn't an everyday habit, but you could consider making time on your calendar for doctor checkups and just thinking about this consistently. You could also consider meeting with specialists like dermatologists or mental health professionals if you have concerns, because these specialists can improve your everyday life, and therapists specifically can give you goals to work on each day. And routine healthcare doesn't just keep you healthy, it'll give you peace of mind and help you stay ahead of problems. The next habit is smarter online shopping habits. I love Amazon, and I know a lot of other people do too. And lately I've tried to add items to a list. So instead of just moving it to my cart, I have a lot of different lists on there. And so instead of just having an item sit in my cart, I'll add it to this list and I can kind of prioritize what I want to get next. And I found that waiting a few days or even longer before a purchase will let you avoid impulse spending and help you feel more confident in your spending choices. I can think of a few products that I've had on my list for sometimes over a month before I realized I wanted to switch that product for something else, or before I decided I didn't really need it. The next habit is the 0.01% rule. The 0.01% rule comes from Nick Majuli, and it states that if a purchase is less than 0.01% of your net worth, you can buy it without guilt. And this encourages, in my case, very small daily indulgences without regret, and it also limits spending to what is affordable for you. I also don't spend this money every day. It's probably more once a week or even every other week in some cases, but I think it's a good reminder that you can get the guac or upgrade your drink if you really want it, and if it's within your spending rule. So that rule has been helpful for me just to avoid feeling guilty about these small purchases. I hope you found at least one or two of these habits helpful, and I hope they sound like something you can stick to and that will improve your life. Remember that even though these are small, they can build up to even bigger changes. If you're watching this, you're likely familiar with James Clear's 1% rule. His rule states that because of compounding, if you improve by 1% each day, that will lead to improvements of 37 times in 1 year. So improving your habits by a little each day can lead to big results.